Using the Redmi K30 Pro, Poco F2 Pro now for a better part of 4 months. I upgraded from the Redmi K20 Pro to this device, and I want to talk about whether or not you should upgrade. I want to get something out of the way and get something totally clear. If it wasn't for this channel, I wouldn't have bought this device. And to be honest, I don't think I would be missing out much. Let me explain. At the time of purchasing, this device cost me about $450, $475, which is a totally fair price for this device with all of the features, all of the performance that you get from it. But is it a big upgrade over the previous device? No. And let's talk about the 3 areas where I just don't see it being worth the extra money. The first area is cameras. While the IMX686 is better than the IMX586, it doesn't give me much more in regards to performance, in regards to video. In fact, the video on both of these devices is basically the same. 4K30 with EIS, no 4K60 EIS, except with Gcam, which, by the way, 4K60 Gcam K20 Pro, that works. The ultra-wide camera on the K20 Pro isn't amazing, but the ultra-wide camera on this device isn't amazing. And when I did my camera comparison between the two of them, I don't think that the extra, let's say $200, $250 that you would spend to buy this device after selling your K20 Pro is even necessarily worth it, just because it's not that big of an upgrade. You also lose out on the telephoto camera, which the telephoto camera wasn't used for video, it was used for photos, and you could argue whether or not cropping in the 686 is going to get you better results than the dedicated telephoto camera on the K20 Pro. But again, this is just kind of a personal preference thing. The macro camera on this device is all right, and I'll take some pictures out here and show you guys some macro samples, but the macro camera isn't enough of a reason, at least in my opinion, to go ahead and upgrade over the K20 Pro. So camera wise, it's not that big of a jump. Damn, are you guys enjoying this video and you want to support me? Best way to do that is hit the subscribe button. If you guys want to interact with me, Twitter is an excellent place to do so. Also, check out my Telegram channel in the description down below. And if you guys want to put some money into my pocket, just use my affiliate links. Okay, back to the video. The next one is screen. The screen on this is good. It's really good. The higher touch sampling rate is definitely an upgrade over the normal touch resampling rate of the Redmi K20 Pro. It definitely does make your touch input feel better. It definitely is better for gaming. Those are all tangible upgrades over it. But if you are not a gamer and the ultra high accuracy touch input isn't something that you necessarily give a shit about, it's not that big of a jump. In regards to screen brightness, yes, this screen is brighter than the one on the Redmi K20 Pro. That goes without arguing. It does look better. That is correct. But is it worth the extra $200 to $250 that you would spend to upgrade? I think you guys know the answer. Now, if this was a 90 Hz touch sample rate panel, I think it might be. That asks the question, what about getting the Redmi K30 Ultra? Well, the only thing that you're going to be upgrading for in regards to the K30 Ultra compared to this device is the screen. It's going to be that 120 Hz AMOLED display, which if you are a gamer or if you're someone that has to have a high refresh rate display, it does make it a little more worth it. Because of COVID right now and because of all of these other issues, it's just like free reign for these kids right now. Some schools are in session, some schools aren't. We've had a couple outbreaks of COVID recently in Hanoi, and it's just free reign for these kids. Oh, come on, pop a wheelie for me. Wheelie, wheelie. Yeah. Now the next aspect that we need to talk about is performance and battery life, because this device is a better performer than the K20 Pro. There is no disputing that. It is definitely a performance improvement over that device. But, and you guys might hate me for this, until I'm getting something that fundamentally changes the way I interact with my phone, whether it be on a superfluous level, such as a 90 Hertz display, where the device isn't actually moving any faster, just it feels faster, or I'm getting an ability to dock my device and then use the powerful internals in some type of desktop mode. I don't see these 10 to 15% increases in computational power that we get with each generational upgraded Snapdragon processor being that big of a selling point. And this is especially if it doesn't come along with some type of added benefit for the end user, such as with Sony's newest Xperia, they give you this ability to plug the phone into an external power source, and then the phone does not use the internal battery. It runs solely off that external power source, so that you're not putting extra battery cycles on the device, and thus the battery is going to last you for a longer period of time. If I could dock my K30 Pro to like a Xiaomi made external monitor, like they've got portable wireless monitors, and then have some type of desktop mode, then I could absolutely justify the updating or the upgrading in CPU, because then I'm able to use something like Adobe Premiere Rush on a bigger screen, or Adobe Lightroom on a bigger screen, or you guys could video edit on a bigger thing, or you could have multi-window multitasking the way Samsung Dex does it, running multiple applications. Until we get something like that, we're just putting Snapchat puppy dog filters on our face faster. Another area you might be considering is battery life. And the battery life of the K30 Pro, Poco F2 Pro, is an upgrade over the Redmi K20 Pro, as long as you're using the device indoors. Although we have an extra 700 milliamp hours on the Redmi K30 Pro, Poco F2 Pro over the K20 Pro, we're really only seeing that benefit if you're using the device for casual things, Facebook, social media type of stuff, and the screen is at a lower brightness. I get about 9.5, between 8 and 10 hours of screen on time on my Poco F2 Pro, if and when I ever charge it up to 100%, which I don't, and you shouldn't either. And on the K20 Pro, when I'm going between my normal 80 to 20% battery charge cycles, I was getting about between 5 to 7, depending upon screen brightness. Obviously, when I charged the device up to 100%, I was getting between 7 and 9 hours. So maybe you're getting an extra 15% battery life on the Poco F2 Pro. So what am I trying to get at? Well, it's a couple of things. First, if you think that maybe the 10 to 15% tangible improvement in camera, the faster touch sampling rate plus larger screen and slightly brighter screen, along with the extra 10 to 15% improvement in battery life, are worth the extra, let's say, $250 or so over the K20 Pro. And the way I come to that number is
If you have a K20 Pro right now, you could probably sell that device for around $200 about a year later, let's say, maybe a little bit less. Average price of a Poco F2 Pro 8128, which is really the spec that you want to get, is going to be around $400 to $475, let's say, depending upon your region. So you're looking at an extra $275. If you think that that $275 for those minor upgrades is worth it, then buy the device. My personal preference, I'm going to be selling this and buying a Mi 9 because, in my opinion, the significant upgrade in camera, the development and software optimization that goes into the Mi 9, the 90 hertz display, although I might not necessarily use the 90 hertz display, the slightly faster charging, these are all things that are more kind of tangible upgrades, especially the camera, because I can vlog and use that camera as a dedicated camera. Damn, partner, you might be sad that this video is over, but don't worry. Go ahead and check out this video right here. It might be a camera comparison, or check out this video right here where I talk about headphones. Either way, I'll wait for you.